Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Vadyantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shrutismriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Kesavam Badarayanam सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः ऋकारस्वन्धकारो वै ऋकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम मनोबुद्ध्यहंकार चित्तानि नाहं न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च व्योम भूमिर्न तेजो न वायुः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं न च प्राणसज्ञो न वै पञ्चवायुः न वा सप्तधातुर्न वा पञ्चकोशः न वाक्पाणिपादं न चोपस्तवायु चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं न मे द्वेषरो रागौ न मे लोभमोहौ मदो नैव मे नैव मात्सर्यभावः न धर्मो न च अर्थो न कामो न मोक्षः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं न पुण्यं न पापं न सौख्यं न दुःखं न मन्त्रो न तीर्थं न वेदा न यज्ञाः अहं भोजनं नैव भोज्यं न भोक्ता चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं न मृत्युर्न शङ्का न मे जातिभेदः पिता नैव मे नैव माता च जन्म न बन्धुर्न मित्रं गुरुनैव शिष्यः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् अहं निर्विकल्पो निराकाररूपो विबुद्ध्वा च सर्वत्र सर्वेन्द्रियाणां न चासङ्गतं नैव मुक्तिर्न मेयः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्। There are only two things, dvau hi padarthau, atma anatmano, things which are indicated by anatma and that which is atma. The atma is always indicated by I, aham, and anatma, though we call it as idam, this cognition, but the way you experience the anatma is in the form of manifoldness. So all the set of things that we so far have seen, all the way from manaha, buddhihi, ahankaraha, chittaha, shrotraha, jihve, granaha, vyomaha, bhumihi, tejaha, vayuhu, pranaha, sapta dhatu, panchakosha, vak, pani, pada, upastha, and then all the emotions which are intangibles, dvesha, raga, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, punyam, papam, saukyam, mantraha, tirtham, all these are known through this cognition, including mrityuhu. Mrityu also is a concept again known with reference to this body or any other body. Jati bheda, pita, mata, bandhu, all with reference to this body known through this cognition. That is all anatma. So naham, 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 naham. Then what is this aham? That is this vichara. If you look at this atma or Nirvanashatkam, the vichara is what is aham, what is naham. Okay. In every verse, if you see, the first three lines are what is naham, the last line is what is aham. The fourth line is always what is atma. The first three lines are about what is anatma. So this anatma is excluded at the beginning. I am not this, I am not this, I am not this, I am not this. Because why do you have to say I am not this? If you want to show what is Brahma, you can just show me saying that, hey, this is what is Brahma. If you want to know what is gold, what I can do, show you this, bangle, and then say, hey, what is here is gold. I don't have to say gold is not rose, gold is not plate, gold is not tumbler, gold is not mattress, gold is not moon. You don't have to say all that. You just have to show that, boss, this is what is gold. But here, naham, 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 naham. Why? Because we confuse ourselves to be all these or combination of all these. So I make statements like I am a puppy, I am angry, my breathing is very fast today. Okay, and I am dumb, I am deaf. This is all I. Okay, and I will be dead. I was born. This is my father, my mother. This is my body. This is my guru. This is my shishya. This I, my is all with reference to things which are known through this cognition. Though I know them as this, but I say I am whatever is seen as this. In fact, other than the things that I see, I don't think of any other I. So I take myself to be this body, but because that is what I see and it comes wherever I go. In fact, when I say I go, it is only with reference to this body going I am talking. Correct? So first of all, I is this body. That is where I put my I. Or it is my emotion. It is either or my thought or with reference to somebody. This is I am a Brahmana. I am a Kshatriya. I am a lawyer. I am a king. I am a cyclist. So all with reference to what I know through this cognition, what is coming to me as a knowledge of a thing which is part of my experience. I experience so many things. I experience the road, the houses, the sun, moon, people, interactions, emotions. I experience nature, waterfalls, rain. All that is part of my experience. And these, along with it, I am also experiencing a body. That is also part of my experience. And this body is talking, also I am experiencing. This body has an I notion, that also I am experiencing. So if you think about it, everything is part of the experience, and some part of the experience I see as this, some part of the experience I see as non this, which is I, and whatever I am seeing as I is also part of the this cognition only. So that is where there is a confusion on what is I and what is non I. Therefore, this Nirvanashatkam picks up a few things which ranges from set of emotions, set of physical substances, things which are outside. We actually look at it, right? Manaha Shrotram and all is something which is there in me, whatever I call as me. Okay. Whereas Vyoma, Bhumi, Tejo is outside. Again, Prana, Panchavayu is in me. Sapta Dhatu is also in kind of in my body. Panchakosha is in my body. Vak, Pani, Pada, Upastha is in my body. Dvesha, Raga is in me. Okay. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha is in me. Punyam, Papam also is kind of attached to me. Mantra is outside. Tirtha is outside. Bhojanam is outside. Bhokta is in me. So if you actually see what is spoken about, there are some things which are actually outside this body, some which are part of this body. Both are set of experiences, and all experiences are dismissed as non-I, which includes experience of this body. Then what is left? That is aham. What is left, if you leave out anything which is known to you, everything that is known to you, if you leave it out, what remains is only me. That is you. Anything that has been known to you or currently being known to you or will be known to you, that is why then there is a statement in Veda that whoever's Veda or in the Shastra generally, the one who says knows doesn't know. Okay. Why? Because whatever is known to you already means it is not you. In fact, anything tangibly known to you right now is not you. Okay. So that is where then you have to look at what is this aham. The sixth verse is talking about what is this aham. Even though other five verses in the last line it said Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham, but they were all about other not me, but it didn't tell you the Swarupa Lakshanam. What exactly is this me then? If everything that is known has to be left out, then how will I know what is the remaining? Okay. That is why, to some extent, you have to be shown what is this I. Okay. So the last verse is talking about aham. What is this aham? Everywhere it was naham, naham, naham. In fact, here also third line is nacha asangatam naiva mukti. Okay. But the first two lines at least, the first line actually speaking, the first two half of the two quarters of the shloka. Okay. Is talking about what is me, aham. Nirvikalpaha. Vikalpa means alternative option. विकल्प नहीं है क्या, in Hindi we talk, no? Vikalp. Vikalp means an alternate. Okay. There is something other than it. Nirvikalpa means not having something other than it. Okay. So Nirvikalpa Samadhi, we would have heard. Nirvikalpa Samadhi means there is no alternate to you in that state. Okay. Savikalpa Samadhi. What does it mean? Samadhiyate chittaha. Chittasya samadhanam samadhi. You can take it like that. Where your mind, is focused, is rooted, undisturbed, is called samadhi. Now, savikalpa means there is a variant. I am there, and something other than me, a vikalpa is there, which can be a rupa of Ishvara, which can be a sound symbol like Om, which can be just a light, or it can be a mantra, whatever it is. There is something other than me, there is a vikalpa, and with that vikalpa being there, still my mind is rooted, which means my mind is not staying away from whatever is the object of meditation. Like I have a Ishvara Rupa. I have in my mind Lalita Tripura Sundari, and I am doing some dhyanam on her. So you can do a dhyanam first, where you can do upachara, puja, all that. And then when all that is done and nothing but that Lalita Parameshwari, Rupam and you are there, nothing else is there, then that is called Savikalpaka Samadhi, Savikalpa Samadhi. Then you have the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, where there is no Vikalpa at all, which means only you are there. There is no Lalita Parameshwari or Sri Krishna or whatever. Means you are in your Swarupa, nothing other than it, for a stretch of time. That also, even though it is Nirvikalpa state, it is only time bound. It is a state, means you get in and get out. You get into a samadhi and you get out of it. So it has certain benefits, no doubt. It calms your mind, it makes you more purified, your papas go away. You may also gain some animadi siddhi. Okay, all that is there, but it is time bound. But now here we are talking about my Swarupa. We are not talking about a state which comes and goes in time, like your deep sleep comes and goes, your dreams come and go, your waken experiences come and go. Like that, this Nirvikalpa Samadhi also comes and goes. Whereas your Swarupa is there because it is its intrinsic nature. Like a heat, Agni, Ushnatvam is its Swarupa. Aushnyam, being warm, is its Swarupa, its nature. It doesn't come in time and go. It can become a fire in time. It can burn a tree in time. It can cook your food in time, but it will go. But that the fire is hot. I mean, the fire is warm or heat is the nature of fire. Doesn't change. When there is something which is inflammable, that burns. There is nothing inflammable, it still is there because that is its Swarupa. Like that, Nirvikalpaha Aham. My Swarupa itself is without any second. There is no Vikalpa for it. There are no two Chaitanya Swarupams. There is no second. Consciousness, when you say, it has to be only I. There is no second consciousness. You cannot say there is another consciousness which is inside somebody else. How do you know? Because that person walks. Okay, but that is a Swarupa. So what is walking is only your that body. That only you are seeing. And you think you are inferring a consciousness, but the only place where consciousness obtains is in you. The source. That's why Guha Nihitatvam. In fact, in that, how can you say there are many consciousness? First of all, every experience, the body that is moving and the place where it is moving, all of them are there, pervaded by this consciousness because their existence itself is only in the consciousness. You can never separate an object from the consciousness because every part of that object and the experience is pervaded by the Swarupa, which is awareness, consciousness. And that content of it is the content of the vritti. So this is where you have to understand. Vritti means a process by which you know a thing. Okay, and that process is what is our experience. What that the whole world is nothing but vritti. When you say there is a moon vritti or moon consciousness. When you say there is a tree, there is tree consciousness. When you say there is my experience of people around me, there is people consciousness. You say I see people walking, there is walking consciousness. So honestly speaking, every experience is that consciousness only. And the consciousness doesn't change, it is always there. But walking consciousness, waking consciousness, tree consciousness, the treeness, moonness, sunness, wakingness, all these things keep on changing one after the other. But consciousness is, and that alone is, whether I experience this body or not, whether I experience other bodies or not, whether I recognize the I or not. The I recognition happens only in the mind. Even that is not Swarupa of consciousness. Okay. So that vritti may not be there, but the substance of the awareness, consciousness always is. And that is what provides the easiness. So there is no vikalpa for it ever. Whatever that, as though vikalpa which is seen that, so you can say, though I say that there is tree consciousness, there is something called tree because I am able to recognize it. You may say the content is consciousness, but what about the tree? Okay, the treeness is only adhyasikam. It is superimposed because there is no substantive called tree. When you go and analyze what is tree, all that remains is only awareness. Look at a tree. What is a tree first of all? Is it the trunk the tree, or the branches the tree, or the leaves the tree? You can say collection of all of it. Then what about the trunk? What is a trunk? Is it the timber which is there, or is it the water and whatever fiber that goes inside? What is the trunk? And then if you take each one strand, which all makes the trunk, each strand itself is made up of further micro substances, the molecules, atoms, whatever. So you keep on digging, it just keeps reducing to something else. Everything reduces to something else and something else and something else and something else. So there is no substantive which stays. The only thing that stays is the awareness, the consciousness on which all these are superimposed. It's collectively. So in fact, even science today reconciles to the fact that everything is reliant on the observer. It reduces to the observer. The resolver is the observing awareness, and that influences things also, it is said in science. Just looking at it from an external observation, they say that, whereas Upanishad and our Shastras look at it from the content. Just you can analyze that, you can see that fact. It's same, or so any object reduces to only Chaitanya. And time, right? There it's next line is going to say Sarvatra Sarvendriyanam Vibhutvat. It pervades everything. Vibhu. It is the one which became many, which is seen as many, and it pervades all of it. And pervading, we just saw, through all objects get reduced to consciousness. And when I say pervade, that means the space. Space also should be Brahman. In fact, Brahman is not pervading the space. Actually, the space itself is Brahman only. In fact, the every dimensionality is pervaded by consciousness. I am conscious of the span. I am conscious of the depth. So the knowledge of space, or space means a dimension, right? Is the experience of the dimension, the spatiality is hinging on my Swarupa, which is consciousness. See, that is why this Nirvikalpa being my Swarupa, I don't have to get into Nirvikalpa Samadhi. All I need to do is just bring my mind into the Nirvikalpa Swarupa, and I am Sada Nirvikalpaha. That is called Sahaja Samadhi. So you just have to, whatever you see, just see the fact that it is nothing but consciousness or Brahman. When I am experiencing an external world, in each of that experience, all that is there is only Brahma, because my that consciousness is not away, never away from it. No experience is away from my consciousness. Similarly, when my thought comes to my body, just see that the body also is not away from my consciousness. Suppose I get an anger, then also I see the fact that anger is not away from my consciousness. I get a guilt, the guilt is not away from my so you just focus on that fact, then you can rest on your own Sarupa, and being in that state all the time is called Nishtha, Brahma Nishtha, because that Nirvikalpa Nirakara awareness Swarupa is Brahma. There is no other Brahma. In fact, there is no other thing at all. Therefore, that Brahma, which actually falsifies your own individuality, because there is, where is the individuality? I as an individual, so and so, that also is in the awareness only, consciousness only. So that also is pervaded by my Swarupa. And the reality of it is only as much as the reality of what I see as things as outside. This is also outside only. The outside this body and this body and the inside of this body are all experienced at once together. This is not separately, which means they are actually, all of them are of same level of reality only. Because when I am seeing this cloth is when I am seeing this body also. So what is the difference between the two? I say this is not me and this is me. But this also I am seeing here. This also I am seeing here. But why I am saying this is me and this is not me? So both are, what I'm trying to say is the me and not me are always together known. So there, so therefore you have to really see that there is no truth, the no true content in what you call as yourself, as me, this person. That is also part of my awareness experience only. So the actual me is only the content of all the experience, which is the Swarupa. That is Nirvikalpa. And that cannot have a form, Nirakara. Akara means form, a shape. Okay. That when I say something has a shape or a form, that means there is also another non-form. Suppose I say this is the cloth. That is because this has certain attributes, and then there is something which is this hand is not this cloth. So there is an akara for this, there is an akara for the hand, and akara for the ring. There are many akaras. All these akaras are experiences in my vritti, and the content of that vritti. Content means that, like, what you have to understand, what is a content? A wave. The content of the wave is water. That is the content. Okay. Now that, like that, in your thought, in the experience vritti, what is the content is the consciousness awareness, and that lights up every akara. Okay, whatever is in your experience is all akara. The whole experience in the life is nothing but an akara, akara, akara. Okay, the akara can be the physical form, it can be in the form of, your telephone ringing sound, it can be the light. Any attribute is an akara. Okay, a recognizable trait, attribute, we can call it as akara, even though generally akara is about form. Okay, but you can add the form along with other kind of attributes and guna. All that is what is experience. Now the content of all this itself doesn't have any akara, because it is purely, how do you suppose, you I tell you, say I keep telling some names, see what akara comes to your mind. A tree, an akara comes. Okay, sun akara comes, moon akara comes. In fact, emotions also, anger, you can have, that is an akara. Right? You can kind of think of what is an anger. But suppose I say consciousness, what will you give? What kind of akara will you give for it? Okay, there is no akara, there is no guna. Okay, so it is nirakara. But nirakara rupaha it says. It's not nirakara. Nirakara's rupa means what? Nirakara is its nature. Okay, swabhava. That also swabhava, rupa, all that is very fluid names because you can't, when you say nirakara, you can't say it's rupa, you can't say it's swabhava. That is bhava means again, there is has to be something which is which becomes an attribute. See, even this consciousness and all, so it's just a word just to bring your focus on the swarupa. That's all. Otherwise, you can't use any word. Every word has a problem. Because the moment you say consciousness, that ness itself implies a characteristic. Okay. So then it's a problem. Hotness, coldness, like that consciousness. When you say ness means what? So that is why the words cannot directly give you the what it is. Yato vacho nivartante. So we have to somehow use words and try to bring your attention to the Swarupa so that it clicks. That's what Shastra is trying to do. So that's why you have to kind of use the words in the right way. Only when you have the full vision, you can use the words. Otherwise, the words will be, very uh, misguiding. If people use same consciousness, everybody will say. If you go and listen to different sampradaya people also, they all, if you give this to a Dvaiti or anybody, they will give a meaning for this. And it will sound as though they are also saying the same thing. Because they will also use Sachidananda. See, go talk to ISKCON people, they'll say, Krishna is Sachidananda Swarupa. Okay, then we will think, oh, Sachidananda Swarupa. They are also talking, them Parabrahma Vastu, Nirvishesham, Nirvikaram, Nirgunam, Nirvikalpam, like that. But no, they are not saying the same thing. For them, Sachidananda means it is the physical Krishna who is the one who gives, certain bliss to you, that kind of a thing. Okay, we have no problem with Krishna or any such God form and all that. That is not the point. But Sachidananda is at a slightly different frame, right? It is to show what is the by which that Krishna is. Okay, the Krishna's Swarupa or Shiva's Swarupa is all the same because there is only one Vastu which is Nirgunam, Nirakaram, Nirvikalpam and Vibhu. So all the names themselves are of no real, other than revealing what it is, there is no other purpose. If there is only one thing, why do you need a name? Okay, if there are four Krishnamurtis, you can say one is Madipapam Krishnamurti, one is Calcutta Krishnamurti, one is some, Trichy Krishnamurti, right? But if there is only one Krishnamurti in the world, that name also, you don't need to qualify that name. Similarly, there is only one thing, you don't even need a name. Why name? You only have to distinguish. See, why do you need name? Is for you to distinguish one from the other. You call something as a rose because it's not lily or hibiscus. So you give a name. If there is only one thing, so either you call it Hari or Hara or Brahma or Brahman or Atma or whatever it is, it doesn't make any difference. But why these names are given? The names themselves are to reveal what it is. Brahma is it's all derived names. Brihattamatvat, Brihi Vriddhau. So that which is unlimited is Brahma. Paramatma. What you see as Atma is this body or this mind or whatever. But ultimately, where does that I go and stop? That is called Paramatma. So the names given are like that: Brahma, Paramatma, Chit, Sat. All that is only to show what it is. These are not names to call it. Okay, today I will pray to Shiva, tomorrow I will pray to Vishnu, next day I will pray to Brahman. It is not Brahmaji. Brahmaji also is one, so our next day Paramatma I will pray. like one more. It is not one more. You count that, there is nothing more. So there is one, can, clay can, then there is a clay lid, then there is a clay pot, then there is a clay hanger, something, there is a clay, parrot, then clay lamp. Like that you count, there are hundreds of things. But once you start, what is there, you say first there is clay, okay, then what? There is nothing. In a clay shop, if you go and start counting, okay, how many objects are there? There are 135 things are there, okay. There is a lamp, there are 5 pots, there are 10 jars, there are 15 lids and 25 plates. It will add up to 136 if you add like that. Suppose I add, there is clay, then what? That's all, no? In a clay store, once you have counted clay, there is no second thing. That is why this finger itself is called Anamikabhyan Namaha. Thus there is no name because you cannot count a second thing after you have counted this Brahman. Therefore, there is no, because there is no Akara. First of all, you can't count it as one. One itself means as two. Okay. So that is why you don't say Brahma Ekam. We say Advayam. There is no second. Once you say one means what is the one is only with reference to two. There is no two, three, and all. What is the need for one? So the counting itself is meaningless when there is only one thing. Likewise, the name itself is that is why it is called Advayam. There is no Dvaitam. There is no second. Therefore, it is Nirvikalpa. We don't say Ekaswarupa, right? We say Nirvikalpa because Vikalpatvam is what you are experiencing in life. And that too, there is only thing which is Nirvikalpa is your Swarupa. There is no other Nirvikalpa. In everything there is a Vikalpa. You take one, there is always another thing in it. Okay. Something is there. So because there is a Vikalpa. Even in a space there is dirt. There is reflection, there is sound traveling. Here the sound travels, here that sound, that is the closest to Brahman. In other things, there are so many vikalpa. When you take a cloth, what about cloth? You can, so there are so many types of cloth. It has, some coloring in it. It has fabric in it, yarn in it, cotton in it, polyester. So many vikalpas. Anything you take in the world is full of vikalpa, vikalpa, vikalpa. There is only one thing which is nirvikalpa, which is the content of that object experience, which is nirvikalpa. It cannot change because it doesn't have any akara, any attribute, that which is devoid, and nothing can go and touch it also because whatever it, there is no nothing else for it them to touch. So there is no way it changes. It is all the time the same. Sadyo jatam prapadyami. Sadyo jataya vai namo namaha. Sadyo jataha. It is always newborn because it remains the same. Vriddha Sishya Gurur Yuva. The Ishvara doesn't age because he is beyond time. Kala Kalaha. Kala Samhara Murti. There is no Samhara. He is already beyond Kala. Kala is in him. Mahakal. Kal means also it is Kalo Sarva Bhakshakaha. Time eats away everything. Everything gets eaten by time. The whole what you are seeing is all the time being consumed by time. Your body is constantly being consumed by time. The mountains around you, they are being consumed by time. Time just keeps on swallowing everything. But in Bhagavad Gita, he says, no, as Kala in Vishwarupa, Bhagavan is swallowing the whole thing in the form of time. Okay, that is and there is one thing which eats that Kala also, which is Mahakal. That is Parabrahman. So Shiva is actually called Mahakaleshwar because he is Kala Kala. He eats time also. Time is eater of everything. Kalo Sarvabhakshaka. But the time also is eaten because the time where there is no time is Brahman. Vibhutvat. It is all pervasive. Vibhu. Because there is no all and all, there is only one thing. So when you see it from the with reference to whatever you are seeing as Jagat, then it is pervaded by Brahma. So it is Vibhu. Sarvatra, Sarvendriyanam, Vibhu. Everywhere and in the form of every Indriya, every senses, what is consumed by senses are also Brahman. And the consumer of the content is also Brahma. There is only Brahma. And no Sangati. So it doesn't have any connection. Nor is it liberated. There is no Mukti. Mukti means what? Something should have been bound. Sadhyam should be there, which is to be liberated. There is something to be bound. There is no something. Okay. You think you are bound, but that you itself is false. Forget you are getting bound. What you are thinking as you, the individual Ahankara. Ahankara means not pride. Ahankara means the individuality. That individuality itself is pervaded by the Swarupa. The individuality has no presence. That individual, then only it is bound or and all that. Bound means it has to first exist, then only it can get bound. Okay, so there is no binding. So there is no mukti or need for mukti. Atma is nitya muktaha. It is already free. So it is siddha. Mukti is siddham. It is already there. So there is no sadhya sadhakatvam here. It is siddha vastu only you are trying to gain. You are already free. Like your eyeglasses which you have put in your head. You just discover that it is there in the head. That's all. So here you discover that whoever is searching, that fellow itself is false. Whoever is trying to seek moksha, that entity itself has no true existence. So the existence is only in the content of all this experience, which is Brahman. And in that content, there are many vrittis which are as though there, which includes this vritti, I vritti, this many people vritti, the world vritti. And I am the Baddha, you are the Baddha, and there is a Mukti, there is Guru, there is Sishya. All these things are like what is happening in the dream. Everything is happening, but then content is what? The Surupa only. And what is that? Chid Ananda Rupa Shivaha. Chit Ananda. And you can add Sat also. Chit means consciousness. We have been all along talking. Ananda actually means Ananta. Okay. Ananta means unlimited. There is no interruption in the conscious. So it is Vyaptam, Vibhu, Pratibodha Viditam. In every cognition, all that is there is only that Chit. Therefore, it is Ananta consciousness. It is not bound. It is always the easiness, and the easiness in the form of consciousness. So Chid Anandaha. And it is Shivaha. Swashreyasam Bhadram Kalyanam Shivam Advaitam. Shantam Shivam Advaitam Manyante. So the Advayam Brahma is Shiva, which is Mangala. And the Shivaha also has this two, I think I told you, Shi and Va. Shi means Shayanat. This Brahman Though we are saying it has become the Jagat, this, that, all that, but actually it hasn't. We go and ask the Brahman, for example, suppose you are able to go and ask, it says, I am not doing anything. I am just there. That's all. Like the sun. You go and tell sun only creates the day and night, we say, right? Divakaraha. His name is Divakara or Dinakaraha, the one because of whom the day is born and night is born too. Okay, every day sun comes in the morning, rises in the east, and then sets in the west. All that we say. You go and ask the sun, I never rise, nor do I set, nor do I create any day or night. I am just there glowing all the time. Correct? So there is everything else is your own creation, mental imagination. Like that, this she, the one who is indweller, from the indweller perspective, he is not indwelling. Indwelling means there has to be something else in which you have to indwell. There is no other thing. All that is there, only constant Shiva who doesn't change. Nitya Mangalam. That is she. And Va means Vahati. So from the Jagat perspective, you look at it from the pot. Suppose you are counting the pots in the pot store. There are 126 things. Then we say all these 126 things, whether it is pot or a jar or a lid or a plate, they are pervaded by clay. Okay? So it is from the standpoint of the pot and the lid and the jar, there is indwelling entity, Vyapagam. So we call it as Vishnu. So Vahati Vishnu. Shayati Shiva. That is Nirvikalpa Nirakara. He is Shiva. And the same Nirvikalpa within the Savikalpa Jagat, the one who carries the whole thing, is Vaha. That is Vishnu. So Shiva itself, she is Nirvikalpa Linga. Va is Sakara Vishnu. So therefore, in Shivalinga also, it is said that Pita, Avudayar, is Vishnu. That's what Skandapuranam says. That on which that Linga Swarupa rests is actually, we generally say in Shiva Shakti, that is called Shakti also. It is shown as Vishnu also in Skandapurana. If you actually, Vishnu and Shakti are more or less same. There is no Veda. Okay. Only thing is, when in the case of Shakti, we just take it as pure Brahma Vidya and Maya alone as Shakti, and so Shiva is a Nirguna. So the Prakriti alone is Shakti, and Shiva Shakti Aikyam, what we call as Vishnu. That is one way to look at. But it is also fair to see Shiva and Vishnu together becoming the Jagat. Okay. So there Shakti and what is Vishnu? Again, Shiva Shakti Aikya only is Vishnu. So the Vaha is Vishnu. She is Shayana Shiva. Shiva Aham. That is all Brahman. So Brahman from its standpoint is Nirgunam. From Jagat standpoint it is Ishvara. So that's why it is called as Jagat Karanam Brahma or Sagunam Brahma. Sagunam Brahma is Vishnu. Nirgunam Brahma is kind of Shiva. Okay. So that Shivoham, because there is nothing other than that. So Aham also is that only. The content. So there is no Aham. Only when there is Idam, there is Aham. That is why Shiva Mayam is all you need to say. That's it. You don't have to say Aham Shiva. In fact, for Vishnu, they say Sarvam Vishnumayan Jagat. So you have to say Sarvam Vishnumayan Jagat. When you have to bring Vishnu, then Jagat standpoint only Vishnu is, otherwise it is only Shiva. So when you say Vishnumayam, you say Sarvam Jagat Vishnumayam. If you say Shivamayam, there is no Jagat or Sarvam, because when the moment you are recognizing Shiva, you are looking at it from the Karanam perspective. When you are looking at Vishnu, you are looking at it from the Karya perspective. So when you talk about clay, you don't need to recognize a pot. In your understanding of clay, there is only clay. There is no pot. There is no lid. There is no jar. So when you recognize the clay, you don't have to recognize anything else. But when you have to look at the pot, you can look at the pot only along with the karanam, the substance which makes up the pot. Without it, you can't think of a pot. Either it has to be a clay pot, it can be a alloy pot like brass or bronze. Bronze, I mean brass is not an alloy, or a brass pot, some metal, silver pot, maybe gold pot. Okay. The content, the substance which make up the pot has to be always there. You can't avoid thinking of the substance when you are thinking of a pot. Okay. But when you are thinking of clay, you don't have to think of the pot. That has to be very clear. Similarly, when you think of Brahma, there is no Jagat or anything. All that is there is only Sachidananda Swarupa. But when you are thinking of the Jagat, that thinking itself is pervaded by Chaitanya. You cannot, there is no other content, in fact. Okay. Like the pot is always, when you are thinking of the pot, you are actually thinking of clay only, with the form on it. Similarly, when you are thinking of anything in this world, the content is only Chaitanyam. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shiva. There is no Vikalpa there. There is no Akara there. It is Sarvavyapi Vibhu. It is whatever Sarvatra means everywhere. The everywhere itself there is, it's a dimensionality only. Every object means it is again recognition of Rupa, Akara. And it is neither bound nor is liberated. It was never bound. All that exists is, was, everything is only Brahma. There is nothing other than Brahma. Shivamayam. Shivaha is enough. There is no aham, in fact. Shivoham is not needed. But because this idam and aham we think, so idam is not the Shiva, only aham is Shiva, to differentiate it. Otherwise, you think of Shiva as something which is outside. You think of an outside first, and the object within that outside, and that object's existence will then depend on you. Because you have to see, then only that Shiva can exist. Otherwise, a Shiva's existence itself is not possible, because the easiness will have to be provided by the observer. Therefore, the Shiva cannot be this. It can be only Aham. So, like that, this Nirvanashatkam comprises of 6 verses. We are now completing after almost 12 months because of our, stretched out classes. But it's one of the very nice compositions attributed to Adi Shankaracharya. Some Mahatma has composed it, which gives a summary of the Vedanta content. Okay. Along with, it doesn't have any methodology or anything. It just cryptically gives the content, and we obviously borrowed the methodologies from the Vedanta Sampradaya. And here and there, I also brought in some things from the modern science and stuff like that to just assimilate what is being said. Okay, so with that, this concludes. Let's just read the first verse again so as to keep the continuity. Mano buddhya hankara chittani naham न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च व्योमभूमिर्न तेजो न वायुः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम।